Hello everyone, this is Utkarsh from Sunsoft Technologies. Welcome back to my Python tutorial, and today we'll be understanding conditionals. So let's start off with the if statement. Now the if statement helps with decision making and branching of the flow of execution into one or more branches of code. So now in Python, a block of code is defined by indentation. So the white space provided in the start of a line. And now it is by Python styling convention that we should be using 4 spaces. So now when we are going to use IDEs, then they are going to provide these styling conventions by themselves, but we should know about them as well. So let's start with knowing about the if statement. So now the if statement, when used by itself, takes a condition. Condition is anything that returns a boolean value. So now we are going to be using comparison operators as well as logical operators as well, because they give out boolean values, and executes the following statements only if the condition being tested evaluates to true. Now remember that even truthy value evaluates to true in Python, so we'll see how that is being used. Now I'll go to PyCharm. So now I've opened up PyCharm, and let me create a new project over here. Now I'm going to name this as PyStart. Let me use underscores. So now I'm just going to have a new Python file in here. Now we are going to be using this for conditionals, so let me just name it conditionals.py. .py is the, remember that it is the extension that we use for Python script files. So now inside here we are going to be examining the if statement. So for the if statement, first of all let me define some variables. Now let's take the example of the hotels, and let's say we have 45 rooms in a hotel. And now inside our, so what I want to check, if our hotel has more than 0 rooms, because that is the most basic thing that I want to check. So what I can do is just say this, and why this works I'll tell you. So now see, one thing should be clear, that this is the indentation that I was talking about. So this is a whole another block. Any and every line which has the same indentation as this, after this colon, is in this block. Understand that? Alright. So now we move on, and I'll run it from here. Run, then you'll have the option conditionals, and you see that hotel has more than 0 rooms. So what I did here is I literally just put in this variable, and the value of that variable is a numeric value. So what did it do? So this is the numeric value, and it checked if this numeric value returned true or false. As we saw that this is a truthy value. So what if this was 0? Now if this was 0, I'll run it from here directly. Now this does not print anything. Why? Because this 0 value returns false over here, and as long as it's false, this block never gets executed. Clear? So now let's go back to 45 rooms. Alright, so this is a simple if statement. Let's go back to our slides and see what other statements we have and how we can use them. Now let's see, we have the if else statement. So what does this statement do? Now the else statement, when added to the if statement, provides another branch of execution that is used if the condition being tested is false. That is, if the condition is true, then execute one block, else execute another block. Let's see an example of this as well. So here we are back in our PyCharm code. So now what we are seeing is that if number of rooms is more than that, then hotel has more than 0 rooms. But if that is not the case, see, I pressed enter and it automatically indented. So I'll press backspace, I'll go else, If that is not the case, again I'm creating another indentation, another block. Understand this. And then what I want to print out is that, okay, now if that is not the case, if it does not have more than 0 rooms, then let's say hotel is not open for business, anything, right? So now let me see what happens in this case. Right now it will print hotel has more than 0 rooms. But what if I turn this to 0? Then it will say hotel is not open for business. Okay, nice. So now this is a simple check if it is 0 or not. But what if I want to open the hotel for business only if it has more than 60 rooms? If it does not have more than 60 rooms, then I do not want to open for business. And then I want to say hotel has more than 0 rooms, just in case it has, let's say, like change this to 60, more than 60 rooms. And now in case it has 45, obviously it will show that hotel is not open for business. But in case it turns to, let's say, 145, we added some rooms and then it says hotel has more than 60 rooms. So now this comparison works as well, so you can use comparison operators as well. This is all okay. So let's just use logical operators with this as well once we are done. So now what is happening is, now this hotel has a capacity of, let's say, it has 100 rooms and all of them can have 2 guests in each room. So the capacity is obviously like 200 people. So now I want to check. So I'll just initialize capacity with 2 multiplied by however much rooms we have. So now what I'm going to check, if the number of rooms is greater than 60 first of all, and I want to check if the capacity can handle more than 150 people. Only in that case I will name this, I will say that this hotel is sufficient. But if that is not the case, then I'll say hotel is not sufficient. Simple. So now let's see what will happen. Hotel is sufficient. Why? Because true and true. Now let's say I want the I'm just showing this for the case of because this does not make much sense, but I'm just showing this for the case in which there is true and false. In that case it will go with false. Hotel is not sufficient. Alright, so this is with the logical operator as well. So now let's see if, else and if statements. So now we are going to see the nesting of if, else and if statements and how that branches into multiple. So now let's see the example of finding the greatest number within 3 numbers. Yeah, so now let me get this off the screen. So what I'm going to do is just say largest equals 0 just for initialization. Yeah, so what I'm going to say is largest equals to 0 just for initialization, and then we are going to, let's say, input our 3 numbers. So what I want is, and then I'm going to give it a prompt, enter number. Then I'm just going to repeat this 3 times. So now I have 3 numbers. So now what I'm going to check is if num1 is greater than num2, then what I want to do is largest equals num1. Now what is going to happen? Now what I want to say is else. See how it changed the indentation itself? Then I want to say else. In that case, Now I want to check another time, else if. So now from the first condition we got that num1 is greater than num2. So in that case num1 is not greater than num2. So else I want to check if num2, because if it went to the else, I know that num2 is greater than num1, otherwise largest is num1 only. So if num2 is greater than num3 as well, then num2 has to be the largest one. Doesn't take parenthesis. You can use parenthesis just to delimit, but you can do it without it as well. So now I'll just say largest equals num2. Now I'm going to say else. So now what happens is, let's say if num1 is greater than num2, so largest is num1. Now I also have to check if num1 is greater than num3. So like what happened here is num2 is maybe greater than num1 in this case, but num2 is not greater than num3 in that case, right? Yeah, so this works. So we'll use this and print out the largest number. So let's play this, run this, I mean. So it printed out 20. Let's try this again with different numbers. Largest is 14 again. Largest is 15. So it's printing out the largest number. Now what if I needed, let's say, to print out the largest number for let's say 4 numbers, 5 numbers, 6 numbers, 7 numbers. At this point it will be advisable for you to use a list and just sort through that list and give the last number. But just for the sake of showing this example and why elif is actually required, I'll use this. So let's go back and actually see first what elif is, and then we'll come back and we'll see how to use elif with this to protect indentation in a code. Yeah, so let's see the if elif else statement. So what it does is the elif statement joins the else clause with the subsequent if clause and provides a way cleaner and more readable version of the same statement. Yeah, now let's go to the PyCharm and see this in action. Here we are back, and so we were discussing how to do this if we have so many numbers. Then what we'll have to do is basically just go on comparing it with every one of these numbers for 7 times. So what that will do is create 6 levels of indentation. The first level of indentation is this, second level is this, third will be there, fourth will be there. So what Python does for us to remove this, because in Python readability is the most important thing, so you have to make your code readable. So here it combines this else and if into one statement known as elif, and after elif, see this indentation is now here. So you can now apply however many you want, like let's say elif. Now I want to check if this is larger, and so on. Basically it will go on until I have the last, let's say else, and in that I'll just say, let's just use 4 numbers for this. So you see that we are using only one indentation for all of these, and it looks very clean now. So multiple branching of code is done and still it is very clean. So let's try and run this. So yeah, obviously there is an issue because this one is not working properly, because we had to check again for num2 and num3, but we did not do that in between. That's why the num3 and num4 has an issue, and it is just going to else largest num4. But yeah, this is how we can do it, just multiple branching. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.